Hello and welcome to the Auto Digest. I'm James White here, of course, with James McNeil at Precision Automotive and Transmission, and we are coming up on the end of the year, and we've been kind of talking a little bit before we came on camera that it's so good to kind of get back together and kind of talk about things that are going on as far as the shop here and as far as the industry is concerned. Lots of things, of course, to convey to you today, and we picked out a spot. We're over here by the trophy case, and I just kind of wanted to point out these guys don't get a lot of recognition when it comes to the awards that they win and the different things that they do to keep up with education and just to be the absolute best in the industry. And we're very, very lucky to have them right here in Paris, Texas. James, welcome to the program once again.
Hey, James, it's good to have y'all. I appreciate y'all watching the program.
Well, now, you and I were visiting just before we came on the air about what's going on as far as the industry is concerned, and you've got a lot of things. You know, we were talking about self-driving cars, and the way the technology is moving so far forward, and you guys really make a huge effort to stay right out there on the cutting edge. And part of what we're going to be seeing today is a brand new, here it comes, a brand new piece of equipment. It seems like every time we're debuting a new piece of equipment here on the show, but we've got yet another one that we're going to be talking about today.
Right. As James said, you know, we've got cars that are driving themselves, and you know, we've had cars in our shop already that you can just take your hands literally off the wheel and just let them go down the highway, and they'll do it all by themselves. And so, you know, it's not something that's in the future, it's here.
Right.
And so, you know, our commitment at Precision, we've been in business for 21 years. We've done 80,000 repairs. And as the owner, I look at the industry, and if we're not the best, we're going to get left behind. So we've hired a few new guys. We've hired 2 more ASE Master Technicians.
So that brings it up to how many that you've got?
We've got 6. We've got 6 ASE Master Technicians, and we're gonna keep at least once or twice a year buying the latest equipment that we can. And the piece of equipment we're going to look at today, I'm real excited about. It's an actual gas analyzer, and we can walk out to a car without even popping the hood, without hooking any scanner under the steering wheel. We can just go up to the tailpipe, insert this device into the tailpipe, and it doesn't matter if it's a Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Mercedes, Nissan. It doesn't matter if it's a 4-cylinder, an 8-cylinder, it does not matter. We're going to be able to kind of create a CSI picture and look and know so much about this engine, and if it has a problem or if it's a perfect running engine, all by the exhaust. So we're really excited about it. We've had it for about 5 weeks now, and we're getting the hang of it. Right. And it's really speeding up the diagnostic process, which, you know, time is money. You need your car back quickly. We need to move on to the next car, so,
well,
you know.
And that's the thing that we need to underline here for folks. And we've talked about this before, you know, why go to this effort? Why have, you know, the top ASE mechanics in the area? Why have all of this equipment? Why do all this? Because, you know, got by for years, and maybe some of the other folks down the road, they don't do it quite that way. If it's good enough for Tom down the road, then why we got to do that here? Right. The point is in the long run, it saves you money. It is more efficient for them, and it gets you back your car much quicker, and it saves money in the long run, and that's what it's all about. You know, we were talking too before we came on the air real quickly that you guys kind of end up getting a lot of situations that other people can't seem to conquer, and that's a role that, you know, you've sort of taken that on your shoulders, and you want people to think about you as being the first place to come to. Right. But it's okay to be that place that people go, gosh, I've thrown up my hands, I don't know what else to do. Take it to Precision Automotive.
Right. Yesterday I had a lady had her car in the dealership 3 times, and she brought it to Precision yesterday because she's like, it's under warranty, but I'm tired of taking it back. And so even it's happening to the dealership. Sure. The level of technology is getting so high, and my guys really like it. They want the challenge. I walk out there and I go, hey, I got a challenge for you. This car has been at 2 or 3 places, how many ever, and they love it. They thrive off of it. And so I've got to keep them the best equipment. And right now, you know, I'm excited. We're signing up for vision training, which is 2017. March of 2017, we're going to go to the Vision High-Tech training, which is some of the top training in the nation. And we're probably going to be carrying at least 4 of our techs. Wow. So a minimum of 4 of our techs. So we're excited about it. We like being the guy that can take on the tough problems.
Well, and I want to say something too. Over all the years of doing the show here with James, I walk out into the shop and you see the same faces, you see the same guys out there. These, you know, if they weren't happy with the situation and happy with the environment that they were in and having the opportunity to learn and to forward their careers, they wouldn't be here. Right. And I know this is the premier place to work as far as the area is concerned here.
Thank you.
And you know, and that says a lot not only about, you know, their commitment, but it says about your commitment to keeping the right people in those jobs. So I commend you for that.
Right. Well, another thing we do here that's so cool is we're a team.
Right.
It's a team. It's a team effort, and so that's one of the reasons that we're able to keep the same guys. And I can't say enough about the team that we have. We started. I started this working on cars in my backyard, and then I bought Precision Automotive about 21 years ago.
I remember that.
And we started off with a couple of techs, and now we have 12 employees.
Wow.
So, and we're working on cars, because of our location here on North Main, we work on cars all over the United States every week.
Yeah.
So we're still very excited about this industry.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, now, what's the name of the piece of equipment we're going to take a look?
It's a snap. What brand we bought is a Snap-on, and it's a 5-gas analyzer.
Okay.
And there's 5 gases that it looks at very closely, and you can actually tell if a car is burning all the fuel, if it's got too much oxygen, if it's lean, it's rich, if it's got NOx. NOx is a gas. NOx is not one that's a good one, and so, but we're able to look at this all from never popping the hood, just go straight to the tailpipe and be able to tell if a car needs a tune-up, if it has a severe running problem. You can quickly determine if it's most people when they have a miss, they're trying to decide, is it fuel or is it ignition? Because it can be either one.
Right.
But with the 5-gas, you know exactly when you hook it in if it's fuel or ignition.
Well, James, it's going to get to that point here where we're going to go out in the back, and Neil's going to be there in his wizard hat and his robes and everything, and he's just going to wave a magic wand over that car, and boom, there it is. So let's go. I assume Neil's going to help us with that?
Neil is going to.
All right.
Neil's going to help us today, and I'm excited about it.
All right, let's go take a look.
Thanks.
Test your battery free at Precision Automotive and Transmission. And should you need a new one, vented batteries are just $89 installed with national warranty. An ASE certified technician will get you back on the road quickly. All this and 24/7 roadside assistance protecting you for 12 full months. You're in good hands with Precision Automotive and Transmission, 2675 North Main, Paris, Texas.
Hi, we're here at Precision Automotive and Transmission, and we're talking with Aaron. You guys have a lot of great programs for folks that may need a little help with that car repair bill.
Not only do we accept payments such as cash, checks, and credit cards, even the majors such as Discover and American Express, but we have special options to where you can go through and finance up to 12 months or as little as 3 months. And it's huge because you don't have to pay so much money down. It's as little as 25% versus the full amount.
Taking care of your car and pocketbook, Precision Automotive. We've sat back here with Neil Swafford, and we are in the shop, and James just pulled in our test vehicle. This is like a fairly new Suburban. Neil, thanks for being on the program today.
Anytime.
Now, James was telling me about this new analyzer that you guys have got. This sounds like, I was kidding with him up front, that it's pretty much getting to the point where you can just come out and sort of wave a magic wand over these vehicles and go, that's wrong, and let's fix that.
It's getting there, not quite, but there is definitely a lot of technology that definitely helps us get to the bottom of it, get to the bottom faster mainly.
Okay.
There's a lot of information that we get that is not necessarily OE information. This isn't something that you're going to get on a website and just
get. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Now, what we're doing here, he said we don't even have to pop the hood on this one.
Not even going to pop the hood.
He said basically we're going to hook this up, and then it's going to transmit wirelessly to our screen up here, but that goes in the tailpipe,
Yes.
correct?
Yes,
All right.
This goes in the tailpipe. What this is going to do is it's going to read the gases that come out of the exhaust. We've got 5 gases that come out of the exhaust pipe.
Okay.
We've got nitrous oxide. Actually, it's oxides of nitrogen. We've got carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, oxygen, and hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons is just fuel. So
Okay.
if we have hydrocarbons, if we have excess hydrocarbons, that means we've got unburnt fuel coming out the tailpipe. If we've got too much oxygen, that means we've got either restricted fuel injectors, we've got a weak fuel pump, we've got a vacuum leak, and then we've got CO2. CO2 is a direct reflection of our ignition system and combustion. So if we have low CO2, it's going to let us know. If we have a weak ignition system, maybe low compression, just that lets us know what the combustion looks like.
And all of that from that sensor right
all of this
there,
right
just
here.
sitting in the tailpipe. Wow.
It's like a colonoscopy.
Okay. All right, doctor, I'll let you do your thing. Let's get our camera guy over here so he can let you see that, insert that there. And Neil, James was saying that it doesn't really matter what kind of vehicle we're talking about here. This can be a Chevy, obviously, a Ford, a Nissan, a Honda. Doesn't matter what you're dealing with. As long as it burns gas and goes down the road.
As long as it goes down the road and it's not battery operated.
Awesome.
Say all gas engines, 5 gases come out of the exhaust pipe. Actually, there's 4 that come out all the time. There's 1, if we have the presence of it, we know we have a problem.
Right.
Which is oxides of nitrogen. If we have oxides of nitrogen coming out the tailpipe, there's a problem.
Now, is that what James referred to as being a NOx?
NOx.
NOx. Yeah, he didn't really explain that earlier, but he said that that is a more serious problem.
Yes. NOx is only created when temperatures exceed 1,500 degrees.
Okay.
So at that point, we've got excess carbon, we've got a really, really lean condition, or we have an EGR system that's not working.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a direct reflection of that.
So do we know, is there a particular symptom that's going on with this vehicle, or are we just checking it out?
I believe they've got a rough running problem.
Okay, so something that's very common. You may have experienced that. And this is the neat part about this technology. We were talking about time saving. This is literally pull the vehicle in, literally stick that in the tailpipe, and you can find out what's going on really quickly. And that's one of the things that we really emphasized a while ago, is the fact that they can do this so quickly. It's so much more efficient for them, and it saves money in the long run. So if you've got that little engine knock, or you've got something that's just not running quite right, it's a good idea to just come on in and get it checked out, because the precaution today saves you thousands of dollars down the road.
Definitely.
So, all right, cool. So what's next?
Next, we're going to open up our program.
Okay.
Get her opened up here.
You can play some serious video games on this one, Neil.
Oh, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
We won't tell James. He's not looking right now. So.
All right, so now we're gonna let this thing start gathering a little bit of data so we can kind of analyze what's going on here.
So it's already pulling some information in, but we want to let it go for a little bit, right? Okay.
So we want to let everything kind of stabilize.
And I don't know if our viewers can hear it or not. The vehicle's just idling. It is running right now, and it's just barely, we've got it, and it's a fairly quiet idle. So they said it's running or idling rough or running a little rough. To the ear, I don't hear anything going on right now, but hopefully this will tell us something.
Right.
So about how long does it usually take to get some kind of a definitive reading?
10-15 seconds. Just.
Oh, really? That quick?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Awesome.
But basically, like I said, what we were talking about was our the gases that come out. We've got CO2. We've got which is carbon dioxide. We've got CO, which is carbon monoxide.
Right.
We've got hydrocarbons. We've got oxides of nitrogen. And then also we have a graph for our air fuel.
Okay.
Which
let's step over here, and maybe we can you kind of point to now? Is that what these are? The O2 here, is that the green line there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The purple line is going to be our NOx, our oxides.
So
of nitrogen.
we don't want purple.
We don't want purple.
Okay.
We want 0 purple, and you can
Zero
see
purple.
right here we have 36.
Oh, really?
Right. Like I said, and the only time we're going to get NOx is when temperatures exceed 1,500 degrees in the combustion chamber.
Okay.
So that's going to indicate an EGR problem or a lean problem. Your EGRs typically do not engage, or they're not activated at an idle. It's only under load. So that kind of lets us know we might have a vacuum leak. And if you look down here at our air fuel, which is this blue one here,
Right.
that should be 14.7 to 1, which is kind of atmospheric pressure. But 14.7 to 1 is what you consider stoichiometric, which means at 14.7 parts oxygen, it takes that much oxygen to burn 1 particle of fuel. So 14.71 air to burn 1 part fuel. So at 14.7 to 1, we should use 100% of our oxygen and 100% of our fuel.
Okay.
So you can see we're at 18.9, which means it's high, which means we've got excess oxygen. And then if you'll look right here where it says our O2,
Right here.
right there,
Right.
you can see there's a
Oh,
graph,
right there.
there's numbers
There's a graph
on the side.
and the numbers
Yes.
on the side.
Right here where it says O2, which is our oxygen, we should have 0. So we should be burning all of the oxygen.
So right there where you've got the
Right here where the cursor is,
it should
where
be
the
zeros
mouse is.
there, but
Should be
we've got
zero.
roughly between what 4.6 right now, and it's bouncing around to about 4.73.
Right. So we should be zero. So
Wow.
we've got excess oxygen, which lets us know we've either got a restricted fuel filter, a weak fuel pump, restricted fuel injectors, or a vacuum leak.
Now, when you say a restricted fuel filter, could that be something as simple as just a clogged fuel filter?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah,
so
just a bunch of trash
so
in it.
for us lay people out there, we need to change the fuel filter.
Yes.
So we picked up some trash in the gas, and and that's the thing that's so important about this kind of testing and this kind of technology is it really gets it down to such a fine detail, such a fine point that you see. Well, because a lot of us out there, the consumers, we look at it and go, well, I'll change that filter next month. I'll change that filter. Oh, I forgot to get to it. Oh, well, I'll do it next week, kind of thing. This is where it really gets to be important to get those things done, because it's those little issues that then mount up over time and create a much larger issue.
Right.
Because what that is doing, if I'm understanding correctly, what it's doing is it's putting it's making the engine have to work that much harder.
Yes.
Which puts extra stress on the parts and puts extra stress on the whole system.
Yes.
And it's just like your body. You climb a set of stairs, you're working harder. And then you get to the top of the set of stairs, you're a little bit winded and everything. And if you're not used to doing that, over time, well, you're going to create problems. Bad things happen, exactly. So, all right.
You end up at the doctor with one of these things poked in you.
Yeah, but it's a real, thing, real colonoscopy. So, all right. So what else we got going on now?
Well, basically, like I said, we need, our CO2. It's a direct reflection of our combustion. We should have a minimum of 13.5 and up to the higher the CO2, the better our combustion is, which lets us know we've got good compression, we've got a good functioning ignition system, we've got no vacuum leaks, we've got the fuel system's working properly. It's not restricted or weak. So, looking at our CO2, that's going to kind of give us an idea of our combustion.
Okay.
So, and then you look at our oxygen, that's going to let us know, do we have any vacuum leaks?
Right.
Or, do we have excess oxygen coming out the tailpipe? That'll lead us in one direction. Then you have our hydrocarbons, which is the fuel. So if we have excess hydrocarbons, that lets us know, all right, we've got maybe an air restriction, which would be a air filter that's faulty. So it's not pulling enough air in to supply for the fuel that's being distributed to the engine. Or we've got a sensor that's reading faulty, a MAP sensor, a mass airflow that's just reading wrong, that says that's telling the computer there's more air coming in than there actually is. So to compensate for it, it puts more fuel in for it. So,
wow.
And then we have our NOx, which I said is 1500 and up. And
so it truly is. It's kind of a cascade effect. If you have one little thing off in the system, then it causes this other thing to overcompensate, and then it's what I'm trying to say is it's an amazing piece of technology that you guys have here, and the important thing about this too is this is so quick. I mean, this takes no time. I mean, we've been on the air here talking about this now for about 10, 12 minutes, but literally to get to this point, you could have probably had an answer for us in probably around 5.
if that.
Yeah, if that, because literally it probably took more time to go out to the lot and pull the car in than it took us to find out what's going on.
Precision Automotive and Transmission has great news. Your state inspection cost has gone down to only $7. Our certified ASE technicians do a quick and thorough job of checking such safety issues as your gas cap, which can also affect performance, wiper blades, crucial in foul weather. Your tires, of course, are checked for wear and tread depth. Lights, both high and low beams, are checked in front, and your backlights and blinkers are included naturally. The working order of your horn is checked. Your brakes are tested, of course, and you'll be informed of just what kind of shape they're in. All this and more to keep you on the road safely. A state sticker for your windshield is no longer required. Instead, you'll receive quick, friendly service and a detailed printout of your inspection, and for only $7 at Precision Automotive and Transmission, 2675 North Main, Paris, Texas.
My name is Lori Russell and I've been a Precision customer for 3 years. Precision Automotive always takes great care of me and my vehicle. We recently went on a family vacation. However, before we left, we stopped by Precision. They checked on our tires. They found an issue with one of our tires that would have left us stranded on the side of the road. Precision Automotive always takes great care of my car and my family. Precision Automotive, I highly recommend them and I would never go anywhere else.
So what would we do now? We've got a rough idle. We seem to a rough running vehicle. We seem to kind of know where our problem areas would be. What things would we want to look at, or what things would we change or want to do now?
The things that we would want to do now is we would want to hook the scanner up to it at this point.
Okay.
And that's going to let us know, we can look at all our sensors. We're going to look at our mass airflow, our map. We're going to look at our oxygen sensors, because we could have a faulty oxygen sensor that's telling the computer that we've got too much fuel and to take fuel away.
Right.
And so the computer's relying on that information to determine how to fuel the engine.
Right.
So at that point, we can look at the oxygen sensor and say, hey, the oxygen sensor's saying we're lean as well, and that we indeed have a problem, and it's not a sensor problem, it's an actual mechanical, whether it's fuel pressure, vacuum leak, what have you on that point.
You know, James and I were talking out front before we came back here and visited with you about this, about the way technology is changing, the way that vehicles are I mean, he said that you guys have already had a couple of self-driving vehicles in here, and it's getting to the point to where if you don't have the kinds of tools that you guys have, and we were talking about this, that you've got to have the cutting edge technology, you've got to have the tools to diagnose the problems, because they're not going to build these vehicles any simpler.
No.
They're just going to get more and more
Yes.
complicated, and sooner or later, you know, you're going to be driving something that has, you know, all of this stuff on it. And you know, I was in a vehicle the other day, a friend of mine had bought a new car, and it had all the bells and whistles, and you know, the screens and all the different things on it. Just within the cockpit, you get this sense of you're in almost a spaceship type thing. And then it actually had the self-driving technology and stuff in it, and it's just amazing what's going on now with vehicles, and we're just on the cusp of that. Give this another 5, give it 10 years from now. By the time that my son is ready for a car, I mean, there's no telling what we'll have. He may have to have a pilot's license by then. You never know. So, well, this is really fascinating stuff, Neil. So what else? I do have a question for you, though, and it basically boils down to this. You know, you talk about fuel filters, air filters, oil filters, that kind of thing. What is the most ignored thing that what's the simplest thing that people can do that is the most ignored?
That is the most ignored.
Yeah, I mean, do they need to stay on top of the oil more? Do they need to stay on top of the air filters more, fuel filters? What is the most ignored thing that's a simple, inexpensive fix that, gosh, that if you really just take better care of that, you'd really improve the life of your vehicle?
I would probably definitely have to say the oil. And the reason I'd say the oil is a lot of your vehicles now come with service reminders.
Right.
And they're based off of an algorithm that the computer determines when you should change the oil. They don't actually check the oil. They don't take a sample of the oil and determine, you know, the lubrication factors and the carbon content and the fuel content and you know, the actual quality of the oil. It just bases it off of the driving habits that you exhibit and the amount of over a period of time.
Right.
And what happens is we've had vehicles come in with 12,000 miles past the oil change, and you look and it says it's 47% oil life, and you're going, hang on a minute, because this thing's sitting here knocking. We know the oil's not good.
Right.
So I would definitely, that's just one thing that I'm big on. I've got I've had multiple vehicles that they recommended 5,000 miles. On conventional oil, I personally 3,000 miles. If it's synthetic, you can go 5,000, 7,500, depending on the type of oil that you use. But a lot of your vehicles now, there's variable cam timing, which uses oil pressure specifically to control the valve timing. And then you've got the carbon buildup you see the buildup on the throttle plates. It builds up on in the inside of the intake, on your on the valves themselves, and then that can pass through, because I mean that becomes carbon, and that carbon is a base element. You can't break down carbon. That carbon, when it eventually makes its way to the catalytic converter, it can restrict the converter. It can cause efficiency problems. So just by not changing your oil, it can lead to further problems down the road.
Well, I've always heard that. That's what my dad always said. Change that oil, son, and it'll take good care of your vehicle. James McNeil has stepped back over here. Let's get James back over in here between us here.
Yeah,
And
I wanted you to meet. I told you that we had added another couple ASE master technicians.
Right.
Neil, he's an ASE master technician, and he was feeling lonely. So.
Okay.
But anyway, Kevin, come on over here, bud.
Come on over, Kevin.
This is Kevin White.
Kevin, James White. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
See right here.
Now, Kevin is an ASE master technician as well too. So, and James was telling us that you guys now have 6 of them out here all together.
Yes.
So that is a fantastic crew, and it's so important. He said that you guys are kind of. He walks back here sometimes with a customer order or something, and basically, I've got a challenge for you guys. This has been every place all over town. Let's see who can fix it first. And so, so that's friendly spirit of competition. Make sure that you get the very best here from Precision Automotive and Transmission. Well, that's fantastic, guys. Kevin, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Glad to
Neil,
be
thanks
aboard.
for showing us the
Anytime.
new analyzer. James, always a pleasure.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, if you want the very best in service, if you want the very best in professionalism, you can do none better than to come down here and see the fine folks at Precision Automotive and Transmission. They've been here for over 20 years now. And let me tell you, if you're looking for cutting edge technology and great people, this is the place you need to come. We'll see you next time here on the Auto Digest.